All eyes on Sunday might have been on Saquon Barkley, fast approaching Eric Dickerson's rushing record, or Tanner McKee absolutely lighting up the Cowboys in relief of Kenny Pickett. But the Birds' drubbing of the boys revealed more than just flashes on offense, as their sights are now set on a surprise playoff matchup and a decision surrounding 2-6 that might have the locker room a little torn. Plus, the fun story behind A.J. Brown throwing away Tanner McKee's touchdown ball, but getting it back from a lucky fan. I'm Thomas Mott. This is The Thomas Mott Show. Birds' slow start on Sunday was short-lived, as a tie ball game after one quarter quickly launched into an all-out avalanche the rest of the way, as the Birds suplexed the Cowboys to the tune of 41-7 behind two different quarterback masterpieces, a defensive turnover onslaught, and yes, of course, Saquon Barkley. Although, according to Micah Parsons, if you just take away all of those pesky little details, the Cowboys were really right in it all day long.
Take away the scoreboard, it was about five plays that decided this game.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Philadelphia has now clinched the NFC East for the fourth time since 2017 and their fourth 13-plus win season since 2004. Don't need to tell you what happened the three previous times Philadelphia hit 13 wins. Yeah, they went to the Super Bowl. And so to celebrate, I'm partnering with Josh Davis to give away 2 Eagles playoff tickets to their home matchup at the link in the Wildcard round. To enter, very simple. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button on this video, and go down below and drop a comment. You can say anything, but a comment gets you entered. Plus, be subscribed to Josh Davis's channel, I'll link that down below, and watch his recap show coming out either on Monday night or Tuesday morning. I'll link that whenever it comes out. Drop a comment there. You must comment on both of our recap shows and be subbed to both channels to go ahead and enter. And the winner will be announced during our live stream of Eagles Cowboys during halftime of that game. So again, subscribe to both channels, all details down below, and best of luck. One of you guys is going to the Eagles playoff game. Now, speaking of playoffs, the Birds are now locked into the 2 seed and now are likely to face the Green Bay Packers on Wildcard weekend. That's thanks to the Falcons blowing it on Sunday Night Football versus the Commanders, and all but guaranteeing the Commanders are going to be the number 6 seed. Simply put, if the Commanders win next week, they are the 6th seed, and Philadelphia faces those 7-seeded Packers at the link. A Packers win next week, plus a Commanders loss, probably unlikely, would then flip the 2 in the standings and send Washington to Philadelphia. Personally, I'd want Washington if I had to choose. I think the Eagles are much better than the Commanders, and I want revenge from last week. But a lot of people are freaking out over Green Bay, and if you're doing that, just relax for a second. The Eagles have already beaten the Green Bay Packers, and the Packers are 0-5 this season against teams with better records than them. Now, Jordan Love and the Packers are very good. I'm not overlooking them in any way, but again, they haven't played their best football versus the cream of the crop in both conferences, and I think Philadelphia either way is going to be just fine, but very curious who you would rather play down in the comments section. I'm going to read all of those, whether it's the Commanders or the Green Bay Packers. Now, if you've been running around like me during this crazy Christmas time and want to save a little bit of time on grocery shopping and meal prep and cooking in the new year, then the sponsor for today's video, Factor, is here to help. Factor delivers fresh, never frozen, and dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. And in about 2 minutes, you have a customized dinner, heated up and ready to go with zero prep, cooking, or cleanup, which in my case means more time spent outdoors with my dogs and less time in the kitchen. I think my favorite part about Factor is probably how flexible it is. Like, you can change exactly how many meals you want delivered every single week. You want 4 meals this week? Fine. 18 meals that week? That's great. And a ton of different varieties in terms of breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And when I say Factor has a ton of different options, how about 40 healthy restaurant-quality meals each and every week? Look at all this stuff. Ugh, it looks absolutely fantastic. Right now, just use the link down below in my description box or scan the QR code somewhere over here to get 50% off and free shipping on your first Factor box, plus an additional 20% off your next month's order with promo code MOTT50 at checkout. That's literally 50% off your first order and free shipping, plus an additional 20% off next month's order. Again, promo code MOTT50. Check it out down below. Now, of course, the bigger fish to fry before the playoffs now centers around Saquon Barkley, whose 167-yard performance versus the Cowboys on Sunday puts him not only 9th all-time on the single-season rushing list, but he's just 101 yards away from breaking Eric Dickerson's 40-year rushing record. Which, by the way, some people are saying, oh, Eric Dickerson did it in less amount of games, which is true. Barkley's done it in 34 less carries, though, at least as of right now. And so if he wants to go for it next week, he'll do it probably in less carries than Dickerson did and still break the record. The problem is Philadelphia has nothing to play for next week. They cannot improve their seeding. They cannot change who they play. They are the 2 seed through and through, whether they win by 100 or lose by 100 versus the Green Bay Packers. And so do you want to risk Saquon Barkley getting injured in order to actually break the record? Well, some Eagle players want to, and some Eagle players don't really seem that interested. Like, for instance, Jordan Mailata and A.J. Brown, they said post-game they're going to push for Barkley to try to go ahead and break the record.
If you look at it next week, do you guys want to play to give him a chance to break the record?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As a captain, is that something you'll
Push for? Yeah. Yeah.
Even if the game has no meaning towards your seeding, you want to play, you want Saquon to play to get that record.
How come?
Why not? It's an opportunity to make history. So
we tried to do it today, just off the off chance of just knowing your coach. And I think we never really spoke about the Giants next week, but we just kind of had a feeling if we don't go for it today, we might sit out. We don't know. Coach hasn't really said anything yet, but we'll see.
Do you want to see him go? Do you want to see him go for time rushing after the tweet?
Of course, why not? I want to be a part of that. So looking back on the years, I'll say, hey, that's my teammate.
But on the flip side, there's guys like Lane Johnson and Darius Slay who are voting for the much safer option to make sure their MVP running back is 100% healthy heading into a meaningful game, aka the playoffs.
I mean, I would love him to have the record, but of course we need him way bigger than the record. But I would love him to have that record. Definitely after what Dickerson said too, that was not cool. So yeah.
Against the Giants of all teams?
I'm talking about that's a big that's a big you do that on the Giants. That'd be amazing. That's why I would. But that's how this go. But yeah, man, that's crazy. He could have did it. He really could have did it in the fourth quarter if he would stayed in. But that'd be another time.
And we just want to get to 2,000, and we were fine with that. And so yeah, better be safe than sorry.
Now, of course, when asking the man himself, Barkley put on his best politically correct face and did not lean one way or the other, kind of emphasizing the team over the individual, as he's really done all season long.
The way I look at it, if it's in God's plan, then it is. If I'm not, overly trying to go get it. I'm not scared of it. Like I would love to, but at the end of the day, also we got bigger things that we're focusing on, and we're able to clinch the division right here. And whether it's we play next week or not and rest, I'm fine with that too, because I didn't come here and sign here just to, rush for 2,000 or break a record. I want to do something special, and meaning special with the team. I mean, it's up to Nick, to be honest, and whatever his decision is, I'm all for it. If his mindset is, we'll go out there and try it, and I'll go out there and try it. But his mindset is, let's rest and get ready for this run, then I'm all for that too. And I'm not just saying that because a camera's in my face or a mic's in my face. I really mean that. I came here to do something special, and obviously breaking a record special. But I want to be part of. I want a banner up there.
And Barkley is right that in the end, it's Nick Sirianni's decision. It will come down to what Nick Sirianni wants to do, whether he starts people, rests people, plays people for a half, doesn't play people at all. It's going to be the coach's call. And I agree with Lane Johnson. Like, records are great, but sprained ankles, torn ACLs, major injuries in a meaningless football game is completely off the table. If Barkley gets hurt chasing the record, Philadelphia's playoff chances, they're doomed. I know the team is great overall, but Barkley is a key factor in the Eagles, not just beating the Green Bay Packers in the wildcard round, but going all the way to the Super Bowl. Plus, if Barkley does go for the record, that means the offensive line plays too. They're going to try and help him get the record, meaning 5 more important players in harm's way in yet again a meaningless football game. And why not use next week as your de facto bye week? We all rave about get the 1 seed. The 1 seed's so important because you get to rest your players. You can do that by not playing them at all. Although if you ask former Eagles Seth Joyner, rest really isn't that important, saying, quote, athletes don't have that kind of mentality. Nobody in that locker room is talking about, oh, I've got to keep myself healthy. Oh, I need to rest. I'm playing him. If Jalen Hurts available this week, he's playing too. And if that's the case, then maybe the starters go for a quarter, maybe they go for a half, I don't know. All it takes is one big run and Barkley is basically there, but personally, as I said, I wouldn't risk it. Now, I'm going to be fascinated about your comments and your thoughts. I think fans are going to be split kind of 50-50 down the middle. Do you want Barkley to go for it? Do you want him to rest? Let me know down below. One thing I do wonder next week is if Kenny Pickett will play if they in fact want to rest the starters, as after the Birds win on Sunday, it was confirmed that Pickett played the entire game with broken ribs and received pain-killing shots both before the game and at halftime on Sunday's win. And Dallas clearly knew this, so they took some pretty cheap shots at Kenny Pickett's ribs, which inevitably knocked him out of the game. But before Pickett had a very impressive 10 of 15 passes for 2 scores, and despite leaving early, was very pleased with his first start as an Eagle.
Of course, you want to finish it out, of course, but I left it all out there. I did everything I could to play today, stay in there as long as I could. So, I have no regrets or anything. Leaving the stadium, we got the win. That's all that matters. So it was a special day for everyone in there.
In fact, both Eagles quarterbacks played great as Tanner McKee came in and became the first quarterback in NFL history to throw 2 touchdown passes on less than 4 overall passes in his first NFL game, one of which was an absolute back-shoulder dime to A.J. Brown, who sung the praises of both backups postgame.
He stepped in. We didn't think he was going to play, We know Keenan was a little banged up, but Keenan was a warrior. He was fighting all day, But he stepped in and he did what he was supposed to do.
Do you appreciate that from Kenny, playing through a real injury today?
Yeah, I mean, everybody banged up. That's what it is. Ain't this time of the year. We trying to, come out here and play well. Have a lot of tech. Nobody cares.
Personally, the best part of all this was A.J. Brown unknowingly launching McKee's first touchdown pass 40 rows into the crowd, only to realize after that he had made a mistake and then tried to rectify the issue by exchanging the ball for his signed game-worn jersey, which made fan Patrick Driscoll pretty darn happy, and he gladly accepted the worthy trade.
When Nick told me on the sideline, and I felt so bad because I threw it so far. So I'm glad we got it back home.
Appreciate that. That he went and did that. When I threw the ball, we have some huge linemen, so I was just hugging all of those guys. I had no idea where the ball went, and then I came to the sideline. Someone's like, AJ just hucked the ball. He's gonna go get it. And so I appreciate whoever gave the ball back, and obviously AJ for going and snagging it for us.
Honestly, next week, why not let Tanner McKee throw the football around? I mean, he's been great in 2022 in the preseason, 2023 in the preseason, and on Sunday versus the Dallas Cowboys. You might have something there. He could be the backup going forward in 2025 if Pickett leaves. I'm going to start Tanner McKee if I was Nick Sirianni and had the call. Flipping over to the defense, and wow, they had a very slow start, but quickly turned it around on CJ Gardner-Johnson's now 6th interception of the season and the first pick 6 of the Bears' 2024 year. Only surrendering 7 total points to a Cowboys team that had just beat up on a very good Bucs team a week prior, and creating 4 more turnovers, giving them 9 takeaways over the past 2 weeks, the most in the NFL since their bye week, is nothing short of legendary. All these turnovers, paired with the stellar play from the front 4 all day long, has really sent a new message to the rest of the NFL that's going to strike fear even to the most daring teams wanting to enter the link come playoff time. This defense, it's not just talented, it's not just violent, they're not just physical, they're hunting you. They want to hit you and separate the football from your body. If this continues, the link is going to be rocking when the Birds create even more turnovers come playoff time.
What's crazy is that we kind of turned up the intensity after the bye week, and you can see that we done probably forced the most forced fumbles in the league, for sent them time. So what they need to do is work on all this catching the rock. We ain't got enough picks, though. Shoot, I ain't got none. Me or Q. Our hands are, my hands ain't terrible. Q hands are terrible. I got better hands than Q.
We didn't like the way we finished the game last week. So we got back after it in practice and, came out here and tried to dominate.
If I had to criticize one thing, they were a little slow on defense to start. I mean, the Dallas Cowboys' early touchdown drive was pretty darn impressive, and this game was 7-7 apiece at one time. But once the second quarter started, both sides of the football really heated up, especially with Kenny Pickett finding Grant Calcaterra for a massive circus catch with the chains, and then Smitty, boy, talk about a revenge game for him, absolutely cooking the Cowboys secondary all day long. A few plays later, and the Birds would force their first fumble on the ensuing Cowboys drive, and then march right back into Cowboys territory before settling for a field goal. Which, by the way, shout out Jake Elliott, he hit all 7 of his kicks on Sunday, which may or may not be a direct correlation to his taking over kickoff duties for the first time all season long. Later in the second quarter, Cooper Rush would give the ball back to Pickett, and then he'd go right down the field to Smitty down to the 1. And then how about Kenny Pickett proving to the world that, yes, Jalen Hurts is good at the tush push, but I can do it too, tush pushing his way to a Philadelphia touchdown. And really, the rest of the third and fourth quarters were a combination of Saquon Barkley starting to heat up, as he's done all season long after halftime, and then Tanner McKee coming in to relieve Kenny Pickett and not missing an absolute beat.
I think what they did on the field kind of speaks for themselves, and I'm glad they came in, stepped in, they demanded the huddle, so I was excited for them.
I still can't get over how great McKee looked in this game. I think he's going to be the backup in 2025. Need to see a lot more, but McKee with the starters was a pretty fun, impressive day. Oh, and the offensive line creating holes for Saquon Barkley. It's very clear that once you get a football team behind against the Eagles and into the third and fourth quarter, this offensive line, this front, starts to absolutely lean on people, and it's just a matter of time before Saquon's going to break a big one.
Let Lane just use his athletic ability, pin him, and Saquon cuts right off him. Okay? You do that. Then you do this right here. Mailata has a 140-pound weight advantage on Micah, but he's got the feet of a dancer. So he had to go up against the best bookend tackles in the business, and they had a hard time. Right here you go. You erase him with Mekhi Becton, all right? Another 140-pound weight advantage. And you put him on him, and you just take him wherever he wants to go. Like water, let him go wherever he wants. Let Saquon go where he wants. You let him decide. Then you get this right here. You catch him off guard with 13 seconds left. You snap it early, and then you let Lane Johnson handle him. Maybe you have Gainwell chip, and then you make this throw down the field to Devontae Smith. They would score with 2 seconds left in the first half.
All in all, Sunday was exactly what the Birds fans could have hoped for. Win, lock up the NFC East, have some impressive plays from backup players, play great on defense, create turnovers, and stay healthy. That was the key factor. They were totally healthy in this football game, no major injuries, and that's the hope next week. Whether Saquon plays, whether he doesn't, win, lose, draw, it doesn't matter. They have got to be healthy on week 18. That way they can put their sights on Green Bay, put their sights on the Commanders, and focus on not being one and done in the postseason. This team is far too talented to lose in the first round, and they definitely should be massive favorites no matter who they play. Again, stay healthy. I'm not going to chase the record. I think we're going to get kind of little hints here and there the rest of the week as to whether they go for the record. I'll cover it all here on the channel. Make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe and do all the things we talked about to get entered for these tickets to a playoff game. Trying to help you guys go. Hopefully it's one of you guys winning and getting your first tickets to a playoff game, but that's going to happen next Sunday. I'm Thomas Mott. Go Birds. NFC East champs yet again. Always a fun Monday. This has been the Thomas Mott Show.